Friday box office, Insidious, The Last Key opens strong with $12 million. Something surprising happened on Monday. Despite having won the three-day race last weekend, Star Wars, The Last Jedi fell to Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle in the fourth day by a narrow margin. Of course, The Last Jedi has already made plenty of money. It's currently the sixth most lucrative movie ever made, sandwiched between Joss Whedon's Avengers and Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. That the movie ceded its place is less surprising than the fact that Jumanji, an amiable but empty comedy, is the movie that did it. Blame name recognition and the undeniable chemistry between Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson, I suppose. Jumanji is now poised to take the top spot for this weekend box office round as well, but on Friday, it was Insidious, The Last Key, the only major wide release of the weekend, that led the pack. The fourth installment in the Insidious franchise came in with $12.7 million on Friday, above Jumanji's $10.8 million take and The Last Jedi's $6.5 million, which landed the Star Wars epic in third. The margin between Insidious and Jumanji is pretty narrow, less than $2 million, so the prognosticators could very well be on the mark on this one. Still, I wouldn't be surprised if Insidious is able to pull this one out, considering Jumanji is already in its third frame at this point. Below the top three, things remained the same for the most part. Ferdinand, as expected, got kicked down to the lower five while The Greatest Showman held steady in fourth with $4.1 million to add on to its $67.2 million domestic earnings. Thanks to relatively strong showings overseas to the tune of $44 million, the sugar-doused biopic musical of notorious conman P.T. Barnum's rise to prominence has become something of a minor hit. Similar things could be said about Pitch Perfect 3, which came in at number 5 with $3.3 million on Friday. The sequel will likely touch $90 million by the end of the weekend, clearing the path for a $100 million domestic take within the next 2 weekends. It might be small peanuts compared to the gigantic success of Jumanji and Star Wars, but for a movie that cost less than $50 million, it's a notable triumph.